panel, we have actress, entrepreneur, and founder of Starstruck, none other than Miss Sunny Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. Joining them, we have the founder of EDT and one of the most respected names in the women's wellness and motherhood space, Miss Naya Sagi. Can we welcome her with a huge round of applause?
So I'm going to kick this off with a question for any one of you to dive into, which is that in today's world where the founder is expected to be the operator, the creator, the storyteller, is that too many roles for one person to be playing? I'm happy for anyone to dive in.
First of all, good morning. And the answer, I think, is no. I think it's an obligation for us to wear many, many hats and do as much as we can throughout our day, because there's obviously not one person working in your company. There's so many different people, but to wear those many hats, I think, is important.
I think a good one to kick it off, and happy to hear that perspective from all of you. We are in the age of a two-way conversation because of the storytelling. There's lots of comments coming your way. There's a lot of consumer feedback. There's a lot of appreciation coming towards brands. So I'd love to understand, maybe Sunny, we can kick this off with you, because beauty and personal care, makeup is such a high involvement category with such a high pace of innovation. I'd love to just ask maybe how you balance listening to the consumer with what you might have mapped out strategically for product.
Well, first of all, listening to our consumer is something that is extremely important, because we need to hear what women want. What are those needs? What are those wants? And how do we accomplish that? So when we started Starstruck, one of the main things that I wanted was, does she want to buy the lipstick again? Was it a great enough formula that makes them switch from one brand to another? And I think that was extremely important for us. And, we're so excited about everything that we create.
Okay, true. I wish I had a little pen and paper, keep taking notes as we have this chat. Sunny, I want to ask you that, beauty as a category, there's so much language of sort of self-expression and confidence. And I've seen that change from the days that I worked with a brand like Lakme, which was maybe 10 years ago. I'd love to know your view on sort of what you're hearing and seeing from your consumers on the self-expression, confidence curves of beauty women consumers today.
Well, I do believe that we're in a trend now where we want to see healthy, beautiful, glowing skin, and makeup just complements who you are. And, at Starstruck, I always tell all the girls, I want them to look beautiful, but I want them to look like them. And we've done different workshops where we've brought in women who wear makeup all the time. And then we have some women that say, I don't wear makeup. I don't want to wear any of these things. And I tell the makeup artist, I say, you start minimal, make her feel good, make her feel beautiful, and that beauty within will always shine. And it's always exciting when you get people to convert saying, no, I don't wear this and I don't wear that. And they come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I love your blush sticks. They're so easy. I go, it's just like my mom when she used to put her lipstick here, and then just rub it in. And I feel like when you can create products for, everyone out there and not just for the Instagram makeup look, then, you're getting somewhere.
Yeah. And it's come up maybe briefly in this chat because all of you've talked about engaging in some way physically with the consumer. And so much of the narrative conversation ends up being an online one, right? I think that's the first port of call that most brands end up spending on. It's where you build your voice. But how are you guys engaging offline? And I want to open it up to the group. How are you thinking about that? Because at places like this very much, some of you will have your consumers. There are sort of maybe offline events that you're engaging with to learn from your consumer, whether you're organizing them or having your brand show up there. So maybe broadly put, in the world that's seeming to crave that a little bit more than they used to, how do you guys think about offline and building narrative with your consumers there?
So at Starstruck, something that we do with each one of our distributors, and we have many distributors across the globe. I can give you one example. Malaysia is one of them, where the women, before they walk into any temple, mosque, they have to take off all their makeup. And one of the things that we've done is we've actually partnered downstairs is their booth, All Mask, where we make these little mini dispensers of makeup remover wipes, and they take it off, and it's our Starstruck wipe, and then we put it into the different dispensers. So that's just one example where we work with offline, like you said, with each distributor based on that country's needs, based on their wants, and we customize all the makeup towards what they want. And we always send huge shipments of all the makeup that all the women in the office can try on, and they can give us their feedbacks. Or it goes to the wives of, the gentlemen that work in there, in the offices, where we can get general feedback of like what our consumer wants, what that country wants, what that community wants. And because it's my husband and I at Starstruck, we're able to cater to each one of these clients. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. It's so many elements. Like I'm sure for everyone in the audience, there's so much to glean in the different ways to go about scaling the brand, what to focus on at which juncture. And, before I open it up to the audience, I have to ask, just because we're all women on a panel, what's a stereotype maybe about either women consumers or women founders that you're kind of just done with?
I don't listen to any of the nonsense that goes on around me. I just put my head down, keep working, and that's it. I don't think that, and like you said, we should be listening to any of that nonsense. I think when you have a good team, good people around you, you keep working. If your business is not serving you anymore, then make a right, left turn and move on to something else. So that's it.
Okay, great. Opening it up for questions now, can I just request that you tell me who you're addressing the question to? And if it can be a question and less of an observation, that's great. So anyone who wants to jump in? Okay, let's go with you.
Okay, hi, my question is to Sunny and Siddha. So I've been noticing lately that especially in beauty and personal care, what the consumer wants or what the audience wants is moving more from aspirational to the brand being more relatable in a sense. And how have you noticed this in your communities, and how is it that you represent these values? Is there a balance between trying to be visual but also real at the same time? Thank you.
So I always say that my consumer is not necessarily someone from Bollywood or an Instagram model. My consumer is you. My consumer is every woman in this room who's working hard all day and on their feet all day, taking care of kids, going to the office. Maybe she's at home taking care of the house. That's my consumer. And I love those women. And if I can give them a product that lasts a long time and makes them feel good, then that's amazing. Of course, we have to always compete with, everyone on Instagram or any social media. But I think that for myself, the reason that I wanted to create this was I wanted to create a high quality product with great formulas for anyone. Because when I was a little girl, I went and I bought that 4-pack of eyeshadow and it didn't even stick on my face, and I had saved up all my money to buy it and it didn't work. And I think that's, where Starstruck comes from, is the idea that I meet so many young people out there, so many moms, so many people that go to an office, whatever their job is, and they're always saying, I don't know what to buy. I don't know what's great. I don't know, where do I spend my money? Because there's a lot of people out there that don't have, they don't want to spend $50 on a compact. So I think that it's important that we cater to that market of glamour, but also Starstruck definitely wants great formulas and cater to anyone that wants to wear it.
I can't hear the applause. And we're going to mark this moment with a group photograph, please. So can I have all the panelists to come ahead? Yes, if you can, please. I must say, indeed, a very thought-provoking session. There is lots to take back and reflect from this session. Thank you so much.